All right. Good evening, Hobby World. Thanks for joining us for episode 50, 57. Personal Rips and Hobby Chat. Joining me tonight, as always, is Ken from Beans Beat Card Blog, and I am Herman, a.k.a. 3B Collections. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about our hobby and yours. Feel free to join into the chat. How's it going?
There's already a lot of chat.
They are blowing chat up. We'll see who we got in here. We got Jenny's with us. George is with us. Dan. They talking about the weather.
It's almost 80 here.
Yeah, that's what I heard. We had 75 today. 70s, low 70s.
We're 70s for the next few days through like New Year's Day, and then it drops off into the 40s. Well, so I guess winter will finally get here in January. Seems to be what's happening here.
Yep. It's like Dan's called us out for being 3 minutes late. That's my fault.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yep.
I got in late too, so, had to eat dinner and stuff like that. So,
He had just joined us. Yeah, I got all these. Look.
Ed and Bo.
And everybody here follows me on Twitter, so they know where those are going.
Yeah, I was listening to Bo, listening to the replay this morning. He was talking about how he and I had talked a little bit ahead of time, and Jenny, I think, was in on it too. We were talking about, Thanksgiving sales and how they were surprising, and then, we weren't sure what to expect on Christmas. And I think he and I both hypothesized that, wouldn't be real good earlier, and then it'd be later. And then I think he said he had a pretty disappointing day, and yeah, Christmas Day was not a big sales day for me either. So It was interesting. I just wanted to follow up on what he had said this morning.
Yep. It was kind of funny that he was talking about, was it Kurt Warner? Yeah. Kurt Warner. And I had made a comment that, I've never really had any interaction with a professional ball player. And I put, in parentheses afterwards, yet, because my wife's working on something for me. She actually works, and I think I've mentioned this before, she actually works with Jim Rice's nephew from the Boston Red Sox. And he actually popped in last week in the store, and she got a picture with him and got to meet him. And I'm like,
oh, wow. So does he live down there?
He's from Anderson, South Carolina, which is where she works.
Oh, okay.
He actually went to school at T.L. Hanna, which is one of the schools in Anderson, and which, most of his family's there. So he was down for, the holidays, which he's still here. That's the thing. He's still here till the 15th.
Uh-huh.
And I like, you got to hook me up. I want to meet him. And I realize it's with family, and I'm not trying to intrude or nothing, but if he's got a minute, I'll drive an hour to see him for a minute.
I hear you.
Hand him a couple balls and get an autograph.
Get a picture.
Get a picture.
I drove like 3 hours to meet Andrew Shaw, who was before pretty much all of y'all knew me, I was definitely an Andrew Shaw super collector. And yeah, I drove 3 hours to meet him because when I worked with Lids, he was signing autographs at one of our Chicago stores. So I worked the morning and then drove up to Chicago to go meet him.
Yeah. Like I said, I've always I've kind of picked on her about when we go to concerts and stuff like that, and she's like, starstruck and awes and all that, and I've never been that way with just like anybody. We went to see, what was it? It was a comedian act, but it was Larry the Cable Guy. Everybody knows him, And when the show was over, everybody just bum rushed the stage, wants autographs and this, that, and the other. And I meant her included. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll sit right here. I'm fine. I'm not I try not to go all fanboy and starstruck and all, but there's there's a few people that I probably would be that way with, and one I've mentioned on a video that I did. Well, it was the video challenge that Shoebox Legends did when I was talking about the Kane Hodder mask I had signed. That if I ever saw him in person, I mean, that's probably one of the few people that I would get that way with that's in the movie industry.
Who was that again?
Kane Hodder.
I don't even know who that is.
He played, well, he's had several roles, but he played Jason in Friday the 13th, part 7. Let's see,
okay.
7 through 10. Like, I mean, he's famous. Well, I say he's famous. He's famous for that, but most all the pictures you see that he takes with like fans and stuff, he's got them like in the chokehold. It's like his thing. I don't know. And I would probably be one of the ones that would let him put me in a chokehold just to have the picture. But
yeah, that's not my genre of movie. I'm not a big movie person anyway, and that's definitely not my genre. So yeah, I wasn't sure who that was.
Yeah, that and the next ones would probably be like professional, like a baseball player like this. And that's kind of like when she sent me that picture. Well, when she originally told me a few months ago that she worked with his nephew, I'm like, what? I'm gonna send you some stuff. And she's like, well, she talked to his nephew and he's like, yeah, send it to me. I'll, leave it in my locker next time he's down, I'll get it signed. And I kind of dropped the ball and never did it until he showed up last week. And I'm like, God, she's like, I missed it, and she told me that's when she told me he was down till the 15th. I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting some balls today.
Literally, figuratively?
Literally. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't get starstruck either. The only 2 times I have been, I didn't actually meet him. I was close to him. Was AJ Foyt, and then I did meet Mario Andretti. Those were really the only 2. And I mean, I've met a lot of car drivers, UFC fighters, over time, but those were the only 2. Yeah, I don't get super starstruck either.
Yeah, I never have been. I mean, I've met a few people that kind of semi-famous or fame or whatever, and I've just never. I've always been like, they got a life just like I do. I don't want to intrude.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, be one of those that comes up and say, "Hey, will you sign this? Sign this?
Mm-hmm.
Sign this?" But like I said, there's a few that I probably would be, and I know that like professional ball players, like especially like baseball.
Dale Murphy.
Dude, I'd lose my mind. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to try to act coy or nothing. I'll probably lose my mind.
Oh, I'm sure.
Him and Freddie Freeman. But it really any like especially like the older ball players like him. That would probably be. And I'm not saying I would just go completely fanboy, but I wouldn't be afraid to ask for an autograph. But Jenny says there's a theme because Bo was talking about Kurt Warner this morning. But yeah, I don't know if I told Jenny or not, but I know I told Bo last week, and I know I definitely told Ed and Mark about it because I sent him a picture like, hey, this dude. So, and Ed says he's a pretty cool guy, so hopefully he'll be up.
All right, we'll have to follow up. We'll have to follow up next Monday.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I told her something that I was like, see if you can get me about 10 or 15 minutes on Monday night to get him on.
Yeah.
Just drop in and say, hey,
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure everyone will be waiting.
Yeah, we'll keep waiting on that. But I'm definitely going to get some stuff signed because she's going to take it with her and give it to him. So,
all right. So, last show of the year. What do we want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, last show of the year. Well, I mean, I guess being it's the last show of the year, we can kind of talk about what we did this year and what we promised this year that we were going to do and we didn't do. Because I'm sure not everybody hit their goals. or not all of them anyway.
Well, I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna take it upon myself to start because it'll be easy. Because I've never really been one that's done that. I've never set the hobby goals. The way I collect and the things I collect, it's not like they're necessarily out there. I know in your case, like you were probably like your 72 top set was probably one of your things. Well, for me, some of the sets I'm working on, the cards aren't available. I just have to wait until they are. So it's kind of hard for me to do that. My resolution for this year that's card related is actually going to do what I'm going to do a lot less social media, YouTube and Twitter. Probably not going to be doing too many videos on my channel, but I also change my mind a lot. So who knows, but it just takes a lot of time. I'll still be watching and all those kind of things and still doing the show with you. And then Twitter. Yeah, just not, just going to do a lot less of that. I've cut a lot of people muted, blocked, unfollowed. I realize when I'm not doing them as much, both making YouTube content and on Twitter as much, I'm happier. So, I just need to make that more of a routine thing. Sometimes I go through those times where I chill out for a week or so and then I feel good and then I come back and it's kind of that vicious cycle. So how did you do in 2021?
Not as well as I wanted, but I still made some progress. So I got them written down right here. My two main goals were to basically not finish the 72 set, but put a dent in it. And I actually picked up. I added 25 cards to it.
You need less than 25. So yeah.
Yep. Then that got me down to 20 cards left.
Okay. So over half of it killed out.
If I just continue that goal into next year and I pick up as many as I did last year, then I'll be done with it. So, and the other one was my Braves binder, binder project. Was to focus more on it, which I actually had just started it last year. So I added 600. I think it was 600 to it. And I've actually finished which now the binders I'm doing are the Topps Flagship, Heritage, Allen & Ginter, and Gypsy Queen. And I'm down to, on Gypsy Queen and Allen & Ginter, I have those completed with the exception of the short prints. So if I pick the short prints up, great. If not, I would still consider it complete. So, and I did the majority of those, or I say the majority, I finished those off on Sports Lots. So I don't actually have them in hand yet, but I have purchased them. I just hadn't had them shipped.
Yeah, you got them sitting in the box.
Yep, they're sitting in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I got to get that shipped home soon, here in the next few weeks.
Let's see here. I gotta sign up.
One of the things like I said, I don't really do the actual goals, but one of mine last year was to start downsizing, and I definitely did that with sending some stuff off to consignments and starting to sell on eBay myself. So just continuing to move quantity out of this house.
Right. But Bo said we gave him a topic for tomorrow's show, so glad we could be of assistance.
Well, I mean, he kind of is a thief when it comes to his topics, and he admits it. He admits it. So,
well, I mean, there's not but so much you could talk about.
Exactly, because like I've said to you, like it's been really quiet the last 2 to 3 months. It seems like ever since Fanatics, there really hasn't been that much out there to really talk about.
Well, and I mean,
at least news to talk about.
You have maybe 3 or 4 things happening in a hobby a day, with hundreds of content creators and YouTubers and bloggers and stuff to that nature. So I mean, they're gonna cover what everybody else has covered. There's no way around it. I mean, and that's kind of like, we talked about this before. Like, we don't really want to go into the news and topics of the hobby, more of just what's going on with us. So
yeah, and I mean, since I don't really collect a lot of the modern stuff, that it's not as big of a thing to me anyway. I just, what happens. Yeah, even with Fanatics thing, I mean, what's going to happen is going to happen. It's not really going to affect my collecting too much. So
yeah,
the news of the day usually doesn't affect me.
All right. I'd be interested to know what your 3 goals were, Bo. Unless you want to save that for tomorrow, and that's fine.
Bet you he'll tell you that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he'll probably talk about that tomorrow morning. Jenny says the lockouts made life boring, and I don't really. It hadn't really affected me as far as my collecting, because I'm still going to collect what I collect, whether they're practicing or whether they're playing. I'm still going to collect what I collect.
I'm thinking she's probably just meaning in general, on the general.
Yeah, I get where she's coming from, because there's no real, there's no like baseball news coming out or anything like that. And meanwhile, I'm sitting over here on pins and needles trying to figure out what's going to happen with Freeman, because while the lockouts in progress right now, I see news clips and videos and stuff talking about how this team has reached out to him and this team's reached out to him, but they can't really do anything. Well, I say they reached out to him. They reached out to him before the lockout.
That's why I said you got to stay off social media. All that, you get all that negative and get rid of all that negative anxiety. And now it's news. Seeing penny sleeves back at a penny online. I'm still paying 2 cents a pop over here in Texas.
Man,
I'll be excited.
I hadn't bought a penny sleeve in a year. I actually got lucky and bought a case of penny sleeves before the shortage.
See, I've needed sleeves with sending stuff off to consignment and things like that. Top loaders, I'm good on top loaders. What I'm actually struggling with, but I did find a little honey hole locally where I can find a really good price. I need semi-rigids, because I had a few hundred of those that were used that I was going to use for eBay, but I've been selling these player lots, and that's how I ship them. And I've been killing it with these player lots. And, I'm sending two to four semi-rigids in a plain white envelope. So I'm going through them pretty quickly. Yep. So those are what I need, but I've been buying sleeves too. And since I can only go over to my card shop and purchase them once a week.
Yep. So Mark says he's never set a hobby goal, and George says everybody should strive to be like Mark.
Yeah, I just, for whatever reason, I've just never been one that does that. And I see a lot of people do it, but I think there's so many X factors that, from year to year, who knows what's going to happen.
All right. And Jenny says she's debating on not chasing all twins anymore, but doing on certain players of the twins. And that's kind of where I'm at. I don't actively chase like all Braves, except for if it comes to my binder product, I kind of take those as they come. Now I do seek out like Freeman cards and Murphy cards, but for the rest of them, it's kind of like just if I get them, I get them. If I need them in the binder, I put them in the binder, and all the extras go. I do have a box, which I talked about this last week. I need to get another box because my first one is full, but I don't go out and seek just all Braves cards. And that may be somewhere she can go, is like, pick a couple, 2 or 3 players, go with them, and just take the others as they come. Because they're always going to be there.
Mm-hmm. And especially if you're active on trading card database, you're going to get those trades sent to you.
Right.
So, yeah, you're still gonna have plenty of opportunities to pick them up that way. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to go out and search, for them. Have 100 eBay searches, save searches like I do.
My favorite Freeman rookie card. I don't even want to talk about it. No, my favorite one is probably the Diamond Anniversary from Topps. Don't have one. Would love to have one, but it's not what is it called? The Gorman? Is it the Gorman? There's a variation of it. It's like an orangish diamond color.
The
Cognac, that's it. That card is beautiful, but I probably will never have one because even though I love Freeman and I collect Freeman, I have a hard time dropping $200 to $300 on a card of anybody.
Now, I mean, if he does sign somewhere else, you might see a little bit of a drop in those.
Would you though?
You might.
Or would they pick up because of the new fan base?
You might see a temporary spike, but I also think, some of the people that might be buying it, if he continues to be a Brave, might be out. And then, if he goes to, I'm just throwing the Dodgers out there. If he went to the Dodgers, I'm just saying, the Dodger fans aren't going to want to go back and pick up all of his rookies.
Right.
They might go back and pick up the flagship, but they're not going to be interested in spending a whole bunch of money, most of them, on all of the parallels and all that kind of stuff. They're going to want his stuff in their team's colors. So,
right.
Just my thought. I could be wrong.
Fall Creek, I think this is the first time I've seen him in chat, and I'm guessing that he's a Freeman collector. So it's good to have you, Fall Creek. On speaking of which, and this is something, and I know this is kind of jumping the gun because we were going to show off our recent pickups, but Brad actually sent me this week, and it was a Freeman rookie that I didn't have. It's the top lineage.
I'm a little surprised that like some of those base rookies you haven't chased down yet.
This one I don't know. I hadn't looked into it yet. And he sent me a picture of it and like, do you have this one? And I was like, I looked, and of course I didn't have it. And he never said any more about it. And then a couple of days ago, it showed up in my mailbox. So, Brad, if you're watching, I appreciate it. I hadn't even posted it on Twitter yet. So,
yeah, he sent me a Barkley I got last week.
See, even Fall Creek says he hadn't seen the top lineage yet. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We got off on the Freeman rookies. What were we talking about? Oh, with chasing all the one teams, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you could trade for a couple of guys and have the others on your list, and if you're chasing those guys and you're looking to field maybe 3 or 4 cards and pick them up that way.
There's just too much out there. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. When I started collecting in 1987, you pretty much, even as a kid, you pretty much could collect everything. You could collect each set. You could collect pretty much all the sports if you chose to, which I pretty much did. You take guys, like I said, I and this is a bad example, but Russ Davis, I collected him, and I still have I still have all the stuff, and I have like 90% of his cards. At least they're listed on Trading Card Database. Guy had a couple 30 home run seasons for the Mariners. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, he's a common player. He has less than 400 total cards. How many Juan Soto rookies are out there? How many of any of these guys? I mean, by year 3, they've got like 10,000 cards.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
it's stupid. If you're from that standpoint, it's stupid. Of being a player collector.
Look at Panini by itself. Panini, like, what was it, Prism? It has like 20 different parallels.
prisms, mosaics. But don't get me wrong, there is something to be said for it is fun to try to get all of those different ones. It could be frustrating if you're not exactly a completist, if you're not sitting here going, I have to have every single one. It's fun to search out and find a new one that you don't have. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to be a completist player collector, I see guys in the Facebook, the Super Collectors Unite group, and they're like, oh, I finally got my 3,296 XYZ player card. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You can't even put those in one monster box. But anyway.
Yep. Dan says he just got a 6-month purchase yesterday. So, and I'm kind of waiting. I've kind of been building up the sport lots, and I wanted to get it shipped here and open it like around Christmas time, kind of as a Christmas gift to myself, but I held off because I had actually ordered, I think, 40 more cards and was waiting for them to go in, and they just had received the last package a week before Christmas, and I knew I wouldn't get it before then, so I kind of just decided to let it build up. And hopefully,
I've got hundreds of cards. I snuck in there on Sport Lots and did a huge order from somebody one day, a bunch of 1991, I think, Formula One cards. Got a bunch of them for like a quarter. I think the total order ended up being like 400 cards.
Yep.
But I got that. Yeah, I've got 2 ComC accounts that I've got cards sitting in. Between the two, I've probably got 600-700 cards to ship home.
Yep.
So
looks like Mickey joined us. Welcome, Mickey. Enjoyed your video earlier.
So slowly start seeing those come in. Hopefully, maybe that's my hobby goal. Get my Sport Lot box and then both ComC account. Get those cards home by the end of next year. Because I do the advanced reseller mode. So when I ship all those cards home, I've got to pay not only the flat fee, I've got to pay a quarter for every extra card I send home at least. Or if it's a graded card, it's an extra $1 because I didn't pay that in the upfront purchase price. So, yeah, I've got to get a lot of money in there. So I've got to sell a lot of stuff on eBay to be able to put that money over there to do that between eBay and my consignments and all that kind of stuff.
And Mark says he doesn't chase parallels. I don't necessarily chase them. I'll pick, one here and there that I'll try to like chase them. Otherwise, I just kind of take them as they come in, and I've never tried to get like any of Panini's parallels because they're just too many. Yeah, but
it just depends on your point of view. Like I said, I'm trying to get some of the Alec Manoah ones out of Mosaic. I took the Blue Jays during your break, and I've actually got another one that came in today. But I'm also not trying to actively search out all of them. I'm just doing the ones in the colors that I like. So pretty much anything that's in a blue color, I want to do. And then I want to try to get the fluorescent green because I just think they're cool looking cards.
Yeah, I have actually thought about that with Panini's the red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about doing that with theirs and trying to go back and get those because I mean that kind of goes with the color scheme of the team.
And those are not short printed ones by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
If you were trying to do the blue mosaics are out of 99. Blue mosaics are out of 99. Most of yours are going to be okay, but then when you got to go get Acuna, you're probably looking at a $30 card.
I mainly was thinking about, on the lines of Freeman because, like I said, I don't chase any Braves card outside of Topps, period. Like I said, that's kind of one of those things that if it comes to me, it comes to me, but I'm not going to go out and actively just chase it down. But so, all right, well, let's see. Who was it? Jenny says, speaking of Christmas, what did we get? Did you get anything sports card related?
No, my wife doesn't really like to do the sports card because she just doesn't know it, and I completely understand. I was dating a girl in high school, and she for Christmas had gotten me something, and then she told me where she got it and what she paid for it, and the card shop owner had completely ripped her off. And you'd like to think that that doesn't happen a lot, but I'm sure that it does. So yeah, she just doesn't. She doesn't like to do that. She'll buy. She's every once in a while I get blasters or something, but we just haven't really been going out to Walmarts and Targets. We go to our little local neighborhood Walmart because it's one of the just groceries.
Right.
They don't have cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in general, we just try to avoid we've just been trying to avoid the Walmarts and Targets. So yeah, it did not, and but that's okay.
Did you get anything you want to share, or?
We went pretty low key this year. We're actually going to do a little bit more for our birthday anniversary because I think we share the same birthday, and then we got married on our birthdays. So we're actually this year going to do more on that day than we did on Christmas.
Just one big bomb, get it all over in one time.
Just we made Christmas about.
That's pretty. That is. I didn't realize. I knew y'all shared a birthday, but I didn't realize that was your anniversary too.
Yeah, we got married intentionally on our birthday. It was on a Tuesday.
Well, I mean, if you share a birthday, you kind of have to.
Yeah, and like I said, so we were able to just kind of focus on my stepson for Christmas, and then we can just kind of focus on ourselves for the birthday anniversary.
I have never in my life ever received anything card related for Christmas, birthday, or anything.
Received anything? What now? I didn't catch it.
For card related.
Oh, really?
And I'm fine with that because 9 times out of 10, which my wife knows I'm a Freddie fan, so I mean she would know that part, but I would prefer it that way anyway, because if none of my boys have really gotten into cards, so they wouldn't know what to get, or I love to end up with a box of Big League or something.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You are a little more specific in what you collect, and even though I have a lot of projects, a lot of things that I collect, they're still specific in their own right. And I'm not a ripper, so even going and buying, a couple of blasters, I mean, it'd be fun. I mean, I would absolutely open them up. But at the end of the day, what am I going to do with them? I'm probably just going to sell the singles on eBay. So at that point, it doesn't, if she doesn't want to do that, like I said, I've always been completely fine with it. One year she gave me an eBay gift card. She hates giving gift cards. So the fact that she gave me an eBay gift card actually meant a lot. And that's how I got my first Dale Earnhardt autograph.
Yeah.
I chose my own. I waited and I selected, the specific one I wanted. And so now that is what, I look at it as that's what she got me for Christmas. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago.
Now I will share one thing. And I am I do, everybody know, well, I don't know, everybody may not know, but I am a He-Man buff, have been since He-Man first came out in the 80s, but
are you a buff He-Man?
No, I'm not a buff He-Man.
Okay. Just asking for the people in the chat. Uh-oh, did we lose Herman? Have we lost Herman? Or am I the only one that's lost Herman? Or have you lost me? Anybody? Uh-oh. Hello? Herman is frozen. Okay, so I guess I don't have anything to add on He-Man, but I will say that a few months ago, I found on Sport Law auctions, I did find some old He-Man Topps cards. It was a lot of 100 of them from a set. I did pick those up. I want to put that together at some point. So Herman's gone. So as I said, I probably not going to be doing as many YouTube videos, probably not a lot. So one of the things that he and I were going to talk about was we were just going to kind of use this forum to show off some of the things that we've gotten recently. So I did want to show these. Couple of Charles Barkley prisms that were sent to me by Pepino Man. If you have a good sense of humor and you don't follow Pepino Man on Twitter, go do that. Just like it says Pepino space MAN. But yeah, Caesar sent these to me. He knows I love Barkley. So that was it was in with a Christmas card. So that was pretty awesome. Hey, oh, I'm in the show. Oh, do we have Herman back? We've got Herman back.
I don't even know what happened.
All right, so Herman can be Buff He-Man again.
Oh, that's what it was. But anyway, one of my boys picked this up for me, which this was kind of something that I started recently with the Funkos. And I picked up the He-Man, which originally that was the only one I wanted and really cared about. But he picked that up for me, and which I like it, and it's kind of going to make me want to get the rest of them. But
I'm a heel, man. I always like Skeletor.
Really?
I'm a heel.
You're a heel. I got you. Okay. Well, then you would love the new season of the He-Man. You should go back and watch it.
Yeah, probably not going to happen.
But no, if you're a heel and you are if you were a Skeletor fan, you need to watch.
I've gone back and tried to watch some of the cartoons, not just He-Man, but some of the various cartoons for as a kid. And I don't know why. I mean, I know I loved them then, but I just can't do it. They're just too cheesy for me.
Yeah, but if you were like rooting for Skeletor, then you should watch the first season of the new release of the He-Man.
I think He-Man kind of reminded me too much of Hulk Hogan, and I never liked Hulk Hogan either. I was always like Big Boss Man and whoever was going after him. Those, like I said, I'm a heel. What can I say?
Have I ever been a heel fan?
I mean, you're a Georgia fan, so there's that.
Okay.
You walked right into that one. You can't even get mad.
What makes Georgia a heel then?
Because they talk shit and then get their butts kicked.
Okay, so that makes them a heel. All right.
That's all I got. I don't know.
All right, so let's go back. Hey, I need new Wi-Fi. Nah, I tell you what it is Christmas time just came and gone, and there's been new electronics brought into the household. What I need is better bandwidth. So if anybody has got any recommendations on that, I would gladly accept them.
Or you tell all the kids that, between now and now, no electronics. Just get over it.
Yep.
Take all the electronics and bring them into the room with you.
Yes, I see it. And I think I actually had to turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone to get back on. So that tells me that somebody got on that has shut me off. Gina says the chickens were hungry. I actually shared a video with Jenny this weekend with my grandson. Here we go with chicken talk again. But every time he comes over, it's like the first thing he wants to do is go see the chickens. Then he wants to see the fish, and then he wants to see the base cards. We got to get those priorities reorganized where base cards is the first thing he wants to see. But I'm working on that.
I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at him for wanting to see the livestock.
Yeah, he loves the chickens.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be mad at him for that.
Yeah. As long as I can get him interested in at least one thing that I'm interested in, it ain't got to be all three of them. So, all right. Well, I think you had said you wanted to maybe talk about some recent pickups.
Yeah, I actually showed off one while you went off and did whatever you did with He-Man there for a while.
Oh man, I missed it. Okay.
No, it was just a little thank you because I hadn't done videos since I got them. But Pepino Man on YouTube sent me these in a Christmas card, a couple of Barkley prisms from a couple years ago. Very nice and shiny, and I don't have a light right there, so you can't really. But this is the cracked ice look, and then just a green refractor. So very shiny. Today I got in this because I mentioned the fluorescent blues. I've never had one. They're pretty sharp looking, and like I said, the screen we're not going to do it a whole lot of justice. But these are the fluorescent blues out of 15. So I literally just picked up the cheapest one I could find, so I could say I had one, and it was Yu Darvish. I was like, I mean, if you're going to get the cheapest one, it's somebody that's a name of some sort. Those are kind of nice, and then those are numbered out of 15. I just wanted to have one. I've seen them across, all the different sports throughout the years. This came in. This was from your break. I got the base Manoah Mosaic. This came in today. I won a Blue Jays lot. There was one of these. These are numbered out of 99. There was one on eBay that is $25. I won this in a lot of 6 Blue Jays cards, and I got it for 99 cents. I got it for the opening bid. Sticking with Manoah. So JT, it's Triple Crown. He pulled this out of his case of Ginter Chrome. This is the mini red refractor. It's numbered out of 25. It doesn't shine real well. I mean, it's not just that I don't have light on it. It doesn't shine real well, period. But it is numbered out of 25. You can see it like right there-ish. So I decided I'm going to work on as much of that rainbow as I can. I'm not going to try it. I mean, if the super fractor comes up and I got the money, I'll put a bid in on it. So then I also bought just the base. I won the gold today, and then there's an orange out of 25, and then a super fractor. And a couple others. I showed these on Instagram. For those of y'all that follow me on there, you saw these the other day. Autogram relic this is 2012. So this is back when relics actually meant something, and they were actually game worn. So it was an autogram out of 100. And I've never had one of these e-cards, and it was graded. But these things are super shiny. Like I said, not really getting anything off of there because I don't have a light behind my camera. But they definitely have a nice refractor look to them, even a little bit more shine and color than the refractors. So those are some of the things I have picked up recently that I wanted to show off. No, Dan, the red is the 1 out of 5. I've already got that one. JT pulled that one and came to me immediately, and we came to an agreement, and I got it. And then I won the gold on auction today. It's numbered out of 50. So I'll need the orange out of 25, and then there's a super fractor, and that's it. So again, I'm not one that's going to pay a stupid amount of money for a 1-on-1 super fractor. So odds are, even if it comes up, I won't have that one, but I'll have 4 of the 5. And that's what I saw somebody talking about, and I did reply to them. They were talking about, just how unnecessary Ginter Chrome is. But for me, I like Ginter. I like what they do with it. Manoah was not in the Ginter set because that thing went to production before he made his debut. So he did not have a rookie card, Ginter card. So these are, again, I would probably rather have the actual Ginters if I had my choice. But I like the fact that I was able to get some Manoah Ginter stuff. I think you're muted, amigo.
I am.
All right. We got you back.
I didn't have a whole lot of pickups to share. I got, I think, 4. Which one of them I've already showed, which was a rack from Brad, which was the hold on, let me get this right here. The 2011 top lineage Freeman. Like I said, I already shared that. And also was another rack that I got from actually John Newman, and it was completely unexpected. But I think I had mentioned this a couple times on Twitter about the Top Series 1 Japan edition, and he actually sent me the team set, so that's much appreciated. The other one I picked up was, I guess it's car related, but Beckett came out with the Freeman cover, so I had to actually, of course, I had to have that one. And my biggest one, I guess you'd say, and it's not car related, but it is a hobby related, but was the Ari Lehman autographed Friday the 13th mask, and that's actually become, or is probably going to become, a new project for me. I've decided.
How do you display that?
I've got something in the works. I've got the Kane Hodder one I talked about earlier. It's actually in a case now, but since I've got two, I kind of want to display them together. So I'm going to work on a stand to put them on.
I don't know exactly how you do it. I don't know how thick those things are, but I know that I have them for when I set up at card shows. But Hobby Lobby has like the shadow boxes, and they're probably 2 or 3 inches thick. So I don't know if that's something you could work out and, kind of put something in there to hold them. Just a thought.
Right. I think I'm going to, which and I've said this before, I'm more of a do-it-yourselfer, where if for something like that, I probably would build it myself. And I've seen a few stands that hold these types of masks, and they're just, they're simple wooden stands that hold them. And I could probably build it for like $5, maybe, not even that much. So I'll probably do it myself.
Yeah, if that's something you got the ability to do. I have no ability to do anything like that. So, yeah, if you do.
Well, it's just like, I built my own shelves. I built, I've redone this whole room myself. So I've always been the type that if I can do it myself, yeah, I'll make it buy it, but I get more pleasure out of doing it, hands-on myself. It's just like, you can't see it and you won't be able to see it, but like in my room here now, I have so much more room since I actually did my shelving in my closet, or what used to be a closet. Now it's basically a bookcase with a door. But I was able to get everything off the floor and off my tables and put them on a shelf, get them a little more organized. They're not exactly where I want them yet, but at least they're not on the floor. And I actually have table space and was able to do away with one table. So, like I said, I've always been that do-it-yourselfer. If I can build it, I'll attempt it.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, one of my oldest display case, I've had it since I was a teen, was actually one that my dad and I built together. And I say my dad and I, by what I mean is I watched, he built. So, yeah. Just not my thing. If it is, hey, kudos to you.
Yeah,
that's a way to get some good money and
I
feel a little more connection with it.
I'm not sure if George is still with us or not, but I think I shared a couple of pictures with him of like a before and after of my closet / bookcase. I know I commented on one of his videos about furniture that, my biggest want for more furniture would be more shelves. And that kind of inspired me to go ahead and get started. And now that I've done it, I'm glad I did. So, but once I get finished, I'll post a few pictures and like before and afters, and there's a big difference, especially inside the room itself. When I can walk in the room and go straight to my desk, and I have to walk around 2 tables and a stack of cards somewhere.
I just sold something else on eBay. Just sold something else on eBay.
So what?
I'm telling you, these player lots have been something, man. I just sold an 8-card Reggie Miller lot. I did not realize my Reggie Miller lots have almost sold through.
Really?
I did not realize he was quite as popular as he is. And John Stockton is another one I sold a few of. But it was something I hadn't thought of. I actually asked on Twitter. I asked some of the basketball guys I know, and I guess you don't think about it this way, but when you have the legendary player or the player that's obviously the best player in a franchise's history, they end up being pretty popular and have a pretty solid following. In the case of Reggie Miller, I mean, what other legendary Hall of Famer Indiana Pacers can you name?
Well, I probably couldn't name even one player on the Pacers. So,
and in the case of the Jazz, Stockton and Malone. I mean, those are definitely their glory years thus far. I mean, they're pretty solid now. So, maybe down the road they have a run. But yeah, these player lots. I'm telling you, if you go back and look at my sold items, I'd say about 85 to 90% of my items are the player lots, just doing well. And I did want to go back real quick. We got a couple of minutes. Jenny had asked if I was going to do any card shows this year because I had mentioned something on Twitter. So it's possible I do more card shows than I did in 2021 because I did not do any shows in 2021. But the thing is, we don't really have any small shows around here. It's the Dallas Card Show. It's that big one that you see 6 times a year. It's the big 3-day, really 4-day show. And then he has some other months. He has a 2-day show. But I don't really – he killed off all of the 1-day shows. He basically he did what he did, and it basically put the rest of them out. And I had somebody tell me that it was because of COVID. No, it was happening in 2020 before COVID hit. Or I'm sorry, 2019 before COVID hit. I'm just a collector, so I don't have the stuff to set up at a show where I have to pay $200 for a table or even $100 for a table. Number 2, I happen to enjoy being married and spending time with my wife. I don't enjoy spending an entire weekend at a card show. So personally, for me, there's not a lot out there. I probably will set up at either one or both of Rich's shows because Rich does a couple of 1-day shows throughout the year that are supposed to start back this spring. But what I had mentioned, I think what she was referring to was I had just seen somebody else was talking, the new thing with eBay. And if you sell $600, you're going to get a 1099 and all that kind of stuff. And I just simply made the point that it's going to be interesting to see if you start seeing more people trying to sell at shows because they think they can skirt that, which a lot of people will be able to skirt it. I'm sure some people are going to get busted. But even if it's not the only place you sell, if you sell 1,000 there, that's however much money that, you don't have to claim. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that's likely what will happen. So, do you try to do the bigger dollar, try to set up and sell your bigger dollar items? It'll just be interesting to see how it works out. Again, I am not suggesting to anybody to do that because that's obviously avoiding taxes. And that's bad, just even if you think we're ridiculously overtaxed. But it'll just be interesting to see if you start to see more shows pick up for whatever reason and you just see things switch a little bit. Will there be less of the big dollar sales on eBay? Probably not. But it's just going to be an interesting thing. I think it's going to be an interesting year in 2022 to see. And the other thing I'd mentioned is, it's been pretty much all quiet on the Fanatics front since since the one announcement. There's been nothing else come out. I think that's going to change in 2022. There's going to be some noise being made out there. It's going to be a very interesting year in the hobby. Yep. Everything has changed in the last 2 to 3 years, and it's going to continue evolving, devolving, however you want to look at it. And that's it's not going to just be more the same. There's going to be a lot of changes.
So you're thinking that, with the Dallas Card Show, the 3-day shows coming around and whatnot was basically the demise of the single 1-day shows. But, and I kind of understand what you're saying, but you would think that some of them would still be around because of people thinking like you that I don't want to do a 3-day show. I don't want to spend $200 on tables, because there has to be other people out there that think like you do that don't want to spend 3 days at a show. They don't want to spend that much on a table. They want to be at more of a show like what Bo has, which and I'm not speaking for what he sells a table for because I'm not real sure, but in the $40 to $60 range for a table for a 1-day show,
But you can have the greatest prices for the sellers. You've got to have customers, and if the customers are all going to the big show because there's just more available, whatever all those are, you've got to have both sellers and buyers. And I feel like most of the buyers, there's a local guy that I know, and I won't really say anything else about it, but I used to ask him, are you going to go up to the show? He's like, there's nothing at these shows for me. But now that the Dallas Card Show, the big show, is there, he goes to 3 or 4 of them a year, where he never went to shows before, because in his opinion, there was nothing there for him because of how and what he collected. So again, there may be more other people like me that want to sell, but you've got to have the people there. You got to have the people buying. You can't just have people selling. And it just seems like that, once he started doing his thing, there was a pretty direct correlation that, the smaller one-day shows just petered out. There wasn't that much left. So
you're right.
I mean, maybe it's not the reason, but there was a very, very solid correlation between the down of those and the rise of the Dallas Card Show.
Yeah. Dan asked for a wrench, and he should have one. And the reason why he asked was we got spammed, and does that mean we made it? Because I know Bo gets spammed about every morning now. So if we're getting spammed, that means we've made it. That means we made it, right?
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. I'm going to stick with it. But all right, well, we're winding down, and one thing I wanted to mention tonight, since this is the last show of the year, was at the start of the year we kind of had with this show in general before Ken came on. We had some stuff come on, and Brad could no longer be with me, and he did his own thing, which that's totally on him. He he wasn't obligated to me, even though this was something we started together, but a bigger opportunity came and he took it. Can't blame him. But Ken stepped up and sent me a message and was like, hey, if you ever need anybody, I'm here. Let me know. And of course I reached back out to him. I think this was March of this year.
Sure. Sounds good.
It was March. It was episode 27. I went back and checked, but he agreed to come on and as a limited capacity, and which what he said was limited ended up being a weekly thing as long as I was willing and able. But I just wanted to express my appreciation for him stepping up and allowing me to continue to do this. I started this solely as a way of just talking about the hobby and sharing what I have going on and talking to others about what they have going on. And even though that I was just about willing to lay it down and not do it, Eric from these back pages, I heard an interview with him where he had, and I've heard other people say this too, because apparently other people has heard it, and he's told them that, if you have kids, if you have grandkids, it's a way for them to go back later and, see daddy and see what daddy was into and see, granddaddy, pawpaw, whatever you want to be called. So I decided to continue. And then, like I said, Ken came on. And I've said it, but I want to just let him know that I appreciate it and hope that he continues to do it and that we can interact with all the guys in chat and ladies, Jenny, in the chat and just continue to do this for another year and look forward to see y'all in the new year.
Yep, just got to evolve. I mean, we had you kind of went away from personal rips because there just isn't anything to rip really.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and that's the thing, and I want to put this out there because I've kind of debated on this. We've talked about this in the past. You've mentioned it. There's actually been some names thrown out, and we've kind of been back and forth. But I actually do want to change the name of the show since we're not really doing the personal rips part of it. The hobby chat's good, but personal rips we don't do so much of, and that kind of fell through when retail got impossible to find, and now it's in my opinion, which opinions can be wrong according to some people, but retail's gotten too high on some stuff. If it's worth opening, they've tripled the price to what it was selling for on eBay that I wasn't willing to buy it on eBay for. So why would I buy it on Walmart shelf for what I wouldn't buy it for on eBay?
And my question to you would be, just to kind of round this out, do you think it's actually made your collection better for it?
It has.
Because you're not spending X amount on ripping something where you only want two to four cards. You can go buy those 2 to 4 cards and then buy a 72 tops for your set.
I will agree with you on that. But the one thing that the sucky part of it is that when I was buying those and opening them, and yes, I was getting the 2 or 3 that I wanted, at the same time I had 9 or 10 that I make a trade for something else I wanted.
True.
And this may be a subject for another day, but that's the one bad thing about the way that I collect. I buy a lot of my stuff off eBay, ComC, Sport Lots, and stuff like that for my collection, which is it's all Braves. That's the only thing I collect. So I don't obtain Red Sox cards to trade with Mark or Ed, or I don't obtain Mark Burley cards to trade with Dan, and so on and so forth. Or Cubs cards for Bo. I don't get those to do the trades. So a lot of times trading's kind of out for me unless it's just something older that I've been sitting on, which, at this point, I don't even own a Cubs card because I think Bo has everyone out. So you see what I'm saying? It's good and it's bad.
No, I got you. Because last year I sent out a couple dozen like Christmas gift type things, cards, whether it be just one card and a Christmas card or bubble mailers. And this year I didn't do that just because, I don't really have that stuff because now what I buy the things that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you make a really good point on that.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it there. We'll be back next week, and I will go ahead and put out there that I know we didn't have the right hobby roundtable this year or this month because of it kind of fell at a bad week with Christmas, but we will be back January 15th. That's on a Saturday at 8 Eastern. For any of those that's joined in the past, you're welcome to join. If you can't, I understand. But we may, for those that do set hobby goals, we may kind of share those then, and along with a few other topics. So again, Ken, I appreciate you joining me.
Hey, let me throw one thing out there.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's a problem for anybody in this chat, or at least if it is, it's not anything I've heard. But hey, let's be smart for New Year's. Call an Uber, call a friend. Don't do something stupid. We want you all here next Monday.
Right. Or bring in the new year at home like I'm going to do.
Whatever it is, but just, there's no reason to be stupid. So we want to see y'all here next weekend or next Monday.
I'll be at my house watching the dogs play, so I'm safe.
Well, I'll be half of that. I'll be at home.
All right, everybody take care, and we'll see you next Monday. And Bo, we'll see you in the morning to find out what your hobby goals are. All right. Take care.